Flavor Balance Heat, the podcast for hot sauce lovers and makers, is brought to you by Scoville.com. Try Scoville.com's hot sauce subscription box, where you pick the heat, flavor, and food pairings you want in your box. Get 1 or 3 bottles delivered to your door each month. Choose your heat level, flavor profile, and food pairings. And it's completely customizable each month. You no longer have to worry about getting sauces you don't like or won't use. Scoville.com specially curates each month's box based on your personal preferences. And best of all, High Desert Sauce Co., Butterfly Bakery of Vermont, and Irish Spike's unique hot sauces are all available at Scoville.com. Anything can happen.
Yeah.
Jeez.
They're fucking crazy. Fuck all that, man.
Yeah.
Fuck all that.
Welcome to Flavor Balance Heat, the podcast for hot sauce lovers and makers. I'm Spike.
I'm Zac.
And I'm Claire.
And today is a special episode. We're just going to talk.
Hi, everybody.
Hello.
Welcome to the shit show, Zac.
Welcome to the shit show, Zac.
Bye.
Bye. So, Claire, you had... Oh, go ahead.
I'm not saying shit. I'm not talking this whole fucking episode.
How you doing, Zac? I missed you guys last week. That's how you're doing?
We missed you.
Yeah, it was strange. I mean, and it was actually really strange coming, doing my setup, down here, because I was like, I haven't done this. I have to do it quickly, and I don't know what I'm doing. It's been too long.
Whenever we take a week off, it's like, I don't know what I'm doing because I have a whole thing I've got to do. So Zac's really not going to talk. We love you, Zac.
For everybody who's listening, did it just freeze? No, okay.
No.
Mine froze on his middle fingers.
So for everybody's listening, he just keeps flipping us off.
Yeah. Wait, Zac, do you have teeth? Those are pretty.
Yeah.
I haven't seen those yet.
Pearly whites.
Are you getting to eat stuff yet? No, not yet. Soon?
If he had a horn, he'd be Harpo Marx.
Or it could be like the Peanuts, the teacher in the Peanuts.
Wah, 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 wah.
Should we stop talking about you, Zac?
He's nodding.
Okay. Well, I have a story for you guys about something that happened this last week. We had a fire in our kitchen.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. So everything's fine. The building is fine. It is shocking how a very small, just fine, everything's fine fire can cost a lot of money. So, we had a co-pack client on site who was putting on, just helping with production and putting neck bands onto their sauce bottles. And they set the hot heat gun on top of a cardboard box.
Oh. Yeah.
And it was actually not just a cardboard box. It was a tote of vinegar. It's a cardboard tote of vinegar that didn't even belong to us. It was from another co-pack client. Oh. So, caught on fire, and I caught it on video. So I've got the video of the fire starting and nobody has yet noticed. And then all of a sudden in the last 2 seconds of the video is, oh my God, pointing. And then somebody, one of my employees ran and got the fire extinguisher, put it out. Fantastic. Did exactly what needed to happen, put out the fire, went out very quickly. We have really good air ventilation in our kitchen, which meant within seconds, literally every surface of our 3,000 square foot kitchen was covered in fire extinguisher dust. Oh. So including, we had just done a whole day's worth of cookie baking for a co-pack client. And we hadn't packaged any of it. So every single cookie had to get thrown out because it was coated in extinguisher dust. We had that whole tote had to go. Every open box of gloves, our boxes of parchment paper that just have the open edge exposed on them, any open box of caps that we had in there, every single dish, every single surface had to be washed. The floor was washed many times, the computers, every box, everything. It took us a couple days to get everything clean again.
So does Butterfly Bakery of Vermont now have a policy in place that co-pack clients are not allowed to help in production without proper training?
Fortunately, I get along really well with these co-pack clients. They are making everything right. It was an honest mistake that I am guarantee he will never make again. And it is his immediate defense is, I've set the heat shrink, I've set the heat gun up there multiple times and it's never done this before. I'm like, oh my God, really? Oh boy.
That
boy.
does not make your argument right. I'm sorry.
So also, well, listeners won't get the reference. The person I was telling you about earlier, that is not on the show right now, that I'll have to loop everybody in on later. Is the son of that Copac client who started the fire. So they shared stories the next day and we're like, oh my God, they hate us. They all hate us.
They're against you.
Right. So yeah, that was exciting. That was really exciting.
Dude, did you have like kettles full of sauce when that happened too?
No, thank God we didn't.
Oh
we weren't making caramel. We weren't making hot sauce. It was actually a Copac only day. So we were doing a Copac bake. We were doing this Copac production for this client and that was it. And so, I mean, thank God. That would have gotten a lot more expensive. That would, this is, I've added up all the costs and I have to talk to them about it, but it's, and they have insurance and everything, but it is really, they did also say that they're going to buy us some fire blankets because that would have put out now, actually, I'm not sure that it would have worked because on the camera you can see, so the tote is a big cube, and they're behind and below the tote. And we had sheets of cardboard. We use the sheets that they use for separating pallets of hot sauce, in the pallet layers. We use those for the same purpose. So we have like a big stack of them in the kitchen and that was on top. Those had started to catch fire. So they were pulling those down, trying to stamp them out. And in the process, you could see the fire kind of spreading down the side of another tote. So I don't know if you would have really been able to get the blanket over, it was kind of 3-dimensional at that point. But if the fire blanket would have worked, that would have obviously solved all the rest of the problems and all we would have lost is that tote of vinegar. So,
oh my goodness.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah.
Exciting week.
It's been fun.
On a positive note, I'm sending you some mustard.
Yeah. I'm excited about that. I saw the shipment and I'm excited to try that.
What's this? I don't know anything about this.
You're not a mustard slut. Don't worry about it.
Oh, okay.
Lost Capital Foods has decided to call it quits, and they make one of my favorite mustards. So I bought a bunch, and they threw a couple extra in. So I know nice. Claire is a mustard slut. So send her some mustard.
That's awesome.
Super excited to try it. I did try some of the tips from Mustard Queen and they did not do what I wanted them to do. I was kind of bummed out by that. Yeah. It wasn't bad. It was still fine, but I didn't get that. I was hoping to just increase the amount of nasaliness I could get on the mustard and it didn't do it. So yeah.
I've got a mustard story. So this week, the first time ever, I've worked really hard to not run out of a sauce at all. But we came out with the Smoked Ghost beer mustard, which I would have never called as a popular sauce. And so we rolled it out and then people were buying it like crazy because it's really good. And then Brian posted about it on YouTube and it's gone. And we didn't have any ghost. I thought we had another week, so we didn't have any ghost pepper on hand. So we have to wait till next week to make it again. So. First time we've ever been out in six years. I think you should social media the heck out of that. Yeah, really. I should. I didn't think about it. I always am careful about not doing we've run out of this because then people won't order until it comes in. They'll be like, oh, I'm going to wait until it comes in. And then your sales drop then. So. But then when it comes in, people buy like crazy, or they're worried that whatever their favorite thing is going to run out. That's true. So. But I don't try to run out by any means, but when I do run out of, we do our micros. And so when those sell out, then then people ask for them again and we go, whoop, they're gone. Yeah, that's different. I'm talking, this is a regular sauce. I've never had a regular sauce run out. I work really hard to never have that happen. And yet, but we've, now that we have the kettle going, the steam jacketed kettle, I'm finding that we have to completely change our ordering procedures because we go through so much more all at once. Yep. So the way we've been doing everything is we've had to completely change it over. Plus the lady I had doing my ordering, who's phenomenal, is having to step down. Her other job just got to be too much. And so in the middle of all that, we were like, we don't have anything. Yeah, man. So what are you getting? Probably 60 cases of 8-ounce bottles
12 pack 8-ounce bottles. 60,
I think
65.
I'd have to look. I don't remember. I've probably something in there. Between moving from 5-ounce to 8-ounce, I get them mixed up because I'm still getting acclimated to the 8-ounce.
A full 40 of 5-ounce is right around 75 cases. So
yeah, and we did.
If you do a full 40.
Yeah, I think the most we've done was 38.5 so far.
Man, fill that motherfucker up. Don't be scared.
Well, I didn't know if it would, because everything expands when you heat it. So I didn't know if it would, how much it would expand. So I've been kind of playing with it to see.
Just pull a little bit out.
My 40 fits like 45 gallons. My 80 fits 85 gallons. Like it has like a 5-gallon like head. They're really wide. They're really wide.
When we did 32.5, there was only about that much space left to the top. And so I was like, well, my daughter who works for us, she's like, I don't think we can fit all this in here. We can fit it in there. So,
well, and you can always take some out. Like if you're like, oh no, it's about to boil over, pull it out the bottom.
That's what I figured we'd do.
Yeah. Yeah. So we've got a couple sauces that we can't put it all in until like things have cooked down.
Yep.
That makes sense.
I have a couple that, yield about 80 cases. Fuck, man, I'm still figuring out how to talk. But yeah, that's all we do is we just pull some out, leave it in a bucket.
I like these kinds of things. These kind of problems are great because they're good problems to have. It's like, okay, we have to figure something out new, but it's not like sometimes you get these problems and it's like, oh, I've got to figure all this out again. And it just kind of sucks. But these ones excite me because we get to create a whole new process that I like working with my employees and being like, okay, you guys do this on a daily basis. I can step in and figure something out, but then you're going to have to work around my brain. Mm-hmm. And I don't like that. I would rather do it around their brain and how their brain works. And so I get to step in and they'll tell me what they're doing. And I'll say, well, why don't we adjust it here like this? And we work together on it. It's great. It's just a lot of fun.
We recently took on a baking co-pack client, which we actually do very little baking co-pack. We just don't have the economy of scale in our bakery setup the way that we do in the hot sauce. And, but this one just kind of lined up just right to work well. But the process was just so different from anything that we did. And the margins on baking are just so much smaller than they are in hot sauce. So like we just had to hit everything right from the very beginning and put everything in place. And so we had we did so many like planning meetings ahead of time, figured out the floor plan of exactly where everybody would stand, exactly how they would move throughout the day. We had one extra person whose like goal was just to support them. So if they were getting a little bit behind, then he could jump in and like do the next batch mixing or something like that. And it was the best. Like it was just it's the first time that we've approached a new product that way. And it cost us a little bit more up front, but now our team, we've got 3 people doing this bake and they know exactly where to go and what to do and what time they should hit everything. And they don't need that 4th person at all anymore, but that 4th person knows how. So if somebody can't be there, he can jump in.
That's awesome.
And it's just like, it was such a deliberate strategic method to like taking this on, as opposed to what I normally do is like, I'm just going to put my feet in it and see what happens. And like, and it's, and I love learning that way, but other people don't. So
yeah, I like throwing caution to the wind. Fuck it.
I'm Claire George. I own Butterfly Bakery of Vermont. We make hot sauce, mustard, cookies, and granola, and 100% of our products are made with Vermont ingredients. The thing that I hear most often from people is that my hot sauce tastes like the peppers that are in it. We do really simple recipes that don't get too crazy and nitpicky, just to really accentuate the flavor of the peppers that are in there. The unique thing about our hot sauces is how much we feature the farm and the relationship with the farm and really bring the terroir of Vermont to our hot sauces. I am pretty sure I am the #1 purchaser of Vermont-grown chili peppers. I would love it if there would be a legitimate pepper market in Vermont where people would know Vermont for its peppers. We're all better for supporting each other. And I think that part really shows itself with the collaborations that I do with the other businesses and the other farms, that I love working together and coming up with new ideas and presenting each other with new challenges. And I think overall that's the attitude here. And I absolutely love it because that's my attitude. I try to live my life with love. The ingredients that I use, I would say that my values are reflected in that, that I use ingredients that, again, feel good, feel loving, feel supportive. The relationship with the farmer was how it all began. If I changed the reason for it being, if I went out and bought some commodity peppers, it might not be as good.
You can find Butterfly Bakery of Vermont hot sauce, mustard, granola, and cookies at butterflybakeryvt.com.
We want to talk about labels. We want to talk about like how we see sauces out there that have labels in the wrong, have things in the wrong place on labels.
Oh, yeah, there's man,
a lot of that.
I mean, we can. However, I'm not going to be nice and I'm going to name names and it's not going to be good. So.
Oh. I think we could talk about it and educate people without naming names.
I mean, we could talk about it and educate people, but it's not like these people haven't already been educated and just choose to ignore it. So,
well, but there's always people who need to learn. I definitely did things wrong in the beginning.
Yeah, I did too.
Oh, we all did.
Right.
Yeah.
So there's people who listen who need to learn.
So what us talking about it may the next guy coming up who looks at their labels and goes, "I'm going to do it like that," will know that's not how you do it because we talked about it.
Yeah.
Because that's the influence we have, not.
Yeah.
I mean, I see things like people putting information between the ingredients and the nutrition panel. You can't have intervening data like barcodes or anything like that. I see people not put ounces and metric or ounces and volume on their milliliters.
One thing that drives me fucking crazy, okay, is this one's not doing it. So I'm not, when it says 5 fluid ounces, net weight, 5 fluid ounces. Well, is it 5 fluid ounces or is it weight? Like,
so that's the important part.
Both.
Fluid ounces is a volume, not a weight.
And then 148 milliliters. They're both volumes. So what the fuck is the point of net weight? Drives me crazy. But what do I know? I don't know anything. I'm just making shit up.
The FDA has a really handy it's not one pager. I always feel like it's a one pager.
It's pretty short.
But yeah, it's a short little handy thing about where everything's supposed to go
with little diagrams and stuff.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like it's one of the better designed pieces of information the FDA has out there.
One of the few.
Yeah. Right. I had a friend who was trying to start a really small like home business with of honey with her bees, and she reviewed that document. She was like, "Oh my God, I was so overwhelmed." I was like, "Oh, well, don't read the rest of the FDA's information."
Oh my God, yeah. That's the clearest thing they've got. Whoever designed that should have been promoted and probably was demoted.
Right.
This is totally too readable. You got to go down.
Yeah. I also noticed a lot of bottles that I've been coming across lately don't have a manufacturing address, or they do not say manufactured by or distributed by. They just say made in this place. I've noticed lot codes are becoming less and less for some reason, which I don't really understand because that's a important part of the recall process.
Yeah.
Well, I think in terms of the address, if they make their own sauce, they just need to have an address. And they actually, the law says that if their address is, or if their contact information is in a local city phone book, which I guess there's a question about what that means nowadays, but I would have to assume that, having it prominently on the internet, it would be comparable to a local city phone book. Then they can just have their city, their state, and their zip code. They do have to have a zip code. Yeah. But they have to have, contact information on there. And then what was the other thing you said? The
manufactured by or distributed by.
So that is just, you don't have to have manufactured by or distributed by. You have to have manufactured for or distributed by. So if your sauce is co-packed,
I'm going to disagree with you because when Teacup Masala went through the ringer and dickheads up there, and I called the FDA, She was like, "Does your label say manufactured by or distributed by?"
Right.
Like it's
but
manufactured by
right. Well, because if it's a co-packed product, if it's co-packed, then it needs to say manufactured for or distributed by. If it's not co-packed, if you make your own, you can just have your address.
I hear what you're saying, but she was asking me if I make my own sauce by saying,
right.
Does your label say manufactured by? Like,
right.
By me.
Right.
So it wasn't a co-pack question. That was, are you making your sauce or is it a distributed by? Are you co-packing your sauce? Granted, this was fucking coming on 4 years now. So, I mean, I understand the FDA likes to update things and not tell people. So
I'd be curious about that because my understanding is that if you are the manufacturer, you can just simply list your company name and address. That you don't need to say manufactured by. We had a thing. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. We had a little thing with not because we just say bottled by, but ours was on the other side. Well, we have it and said, our ingredients are here. And then over here is where we had our address because we don't have room. There wasn't enough room there.
Right.
And we know there's some play in that. And when I was doing some work with a client, they had a former FDA, now a lawyer, call me. And
sorry, I know this story.
Yeah, he was going on and on and on about, you've got to move this to this side and da-da-da-da-da. And so I wrote this long, it's my MO with people like this is to over answer. And then they just get tired they don't want to have to go back and forth. So that's what I did. And then I talked to him on the phone. And I showed him Secret Aardvark, and there was like 3 or 4 others where it was on the other side. And he goes, "Oh, yeah, well, yeah, that's true. Because of the size of the label, I guess that is allowed to do that." And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm not gonna. We've already had the labels printed, dude."
Yeah, it's 44 square inches is the criteria, which I mean, your average hot sauce label is about 15 square inches. So
Flavor Balance Heat, the podcast for hot sauce lovers and makers, is brought to you by Irish Spike's unique hot sauces and Vandal pepper sauces. I'm Spike, the owner and executive saucier. Our sauces are handmade in the Pacific Northwest using the best possible ingredient. We believe that hot sauce equates to a balance of sensational heat coupled with a robust and complex flavor profile. Live your hottest life with Irish Spikes. Irish Spikes unique hot sauces and Vandal pepper sauces are available at saucecult.com.
So I'm finding on the line, if you're the manufacturer of your product, you don't need any qualifying description to go with your name. Otherwise, you need to explain the relationship of the business to the product by saying manufactured by or distributed by or packaged by. That's what I'm finding.
So it doesn't have to say manufactured by.
No.
If I make it myself.
If you make it yourself. Yeah, you have. I think that makes sense. You need to explain the relationship if it's not you. But yeah. But yeah, that was in terms of the size of the label and the placement. For years, I'd been telling people that it all needs to be on the same side, and then one of our staff pointed out that we had it on the other side. And just, the blind spot that you have with your own product.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh crap. And then I looked and I was like, where are we going to fit this? And then I looked it up and I was like, oh wait, no, we're good. It's fine.
Yeah. I had a moment of panic when that guy said that. Luckily it was in an email, not over the phone first. Cause then I was able to look it up and go, nope, cut it out.
Yeah.
And then he also mentioned cause we have our address on there. It says, 501 South Main Street, and I say in beautiful Moscow, Idaho, because I thought that was a really nice thing to add. And I didn't think anybody would have a problem with that. And he tried to have a problem with that. And I'm like, really, dude? And so then he had to look it up again. He's like, oh, I guess if it's in the phone book, yeah, blah, 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 blah.
Well, we didn't used to put our zip code because we didn't know that we had to. So we would just say, we're in Montpelier, Vermont. And then we're like, okay, 05602, our old address.
Hi. I used to illegally make hot sauce for, unknowingly used to make hot sauce illegally, and I put every piece of fucking information that I possibly could on the label just because. Well, not illegally, just legal for Arizona. Right. But they don't give a fuck. You know what I mean?
Well, that's when I first started out, I was, you're in Vermont, you're allowed to manufacture a certain dollar amount in your own home without any sort of anything. And that's what I did. And I sold it at the farmer's market. And then I learned and I got better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got another hot sauce company starting in Tucson. She emailed me asking questions. Where do you get your glass? I'm like, well, I'm not going to give you that information. A, B. She's like, can I just like make it in my house? I'm like, absolutely not.
No.
I mean,
she's like, well, how'd you get started? I'm like, well, I mean, you can, but good luck.
There's a lot of rules to follow if you're making it in your house.
Yeah. No, you can't. There's no codicil here in Arizona.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, right. Then no.
Yeah, zero.
Yeah.
Whatsoever. However, you can be your own process authority, technically, but you can't make hot sauce in your house. Make it make sense.
I think they figure a process authority would know.
You could be a company that puts out millions of bottles of hot sauce every year and not know what you're doing and stay in business, but you can't make hot sauce in your house, even if it's safe. Make that make sense.
I think I don't trust anything people make in their own home. I really don't. I've seen people's homes. I don't trust most restaurants. Are you kidding? You could go into a restaurant, you look around, it's like, whoa. Where was I? I was at a restaurant recently in the back a couple weeks ago, and I was just like, I mean, I know how restaurants, especially old ones, but I was just like,
I recently, there's a new sauce company that I saw at the farmer's market, and they did a mix of products. It wasn't just hot sauce, but, and everything was Caribbean, Jamaican, kind of that, just that, I don't remember exactly. I saw there once, but I was really there was a lot of like not well done choices at the booth, at the farmer's market booth. But it was clearly like the first farmer's market ever. And, you always make crazy mistakes at your first farmer's market ever. Like I brought an umbrella for my 6-foot table. A 6-foot umbrella does not work for a 6-foot table at a farmer's market, all sorts of, no. And it rained. But yeah, so all those like they could be doing everything right in their kitchen, but still make all these weird mistakes at the farmer's market. So I was like giving that benefit of the doubt. But then there was one product that I'm almost positive was like rebottled in a used jar. Oh. And I was like, you can't get a seal with that. Yeah. No. So I did buy one of the hot sauces because they did look good, and it's all vegetables. It's fine. And then when I opened it, I found a quiet spot and I opened it really carefully. I'm like, oh, good, there was a pop. Okay, good. So I felt better about that. But yeah, I'm curious. I wanted to ask questions, but I also didn't want to be the big maker in town who's like, what are you doing? Why are you competing with me?
Yeah.
So
it's not about competition.
It's not at all.
I mean, I get that. You get that. But I mean, I had to run in with somebody who's in the process of, getting legal. And apparently he's been running my name through the dirt.
What?
It's fine. We talked about it, and I was like, bro, I don't know what the fucking problem is, but
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. I'm not naming names because it's all groovy now. We had an actual conversation, and it all worked out.
Oh, that's good. So, well, I had my farmer's market this week was one of the worst. We did fine, but the wind was insane. And so our big 10 by 10, every so often we'd have to grab hold of it to make sure it wasn't kicking off, even with weights on it. It was awful. And things were like other people around us, their whole setups were coming down, and it was bad.
The person who's helped me the most often at farmers markets and at events, I knew him when he was a kid because he worked his parents' booth, which was like right next to mine. And so he grew up at a farmer's market, and we both have basically just spent so many years at a farmer's market that there is this moment where instinctively, like you reach out to catch your baby, you just reach up to grab your 10, whatever that sound is, you've grabbed it.
Yeah, we've had to do that before, but this was the worst yet. It was like, the worst farmers market we had. They do the homecoming parade for the university one Saturday per market year, and it's usually in October. And we don't usually do it, or we didn't until last year, but we did it like our first year, and it was awful. It was snowing and then raining and then snowing. The entire market. We were miserable. They set up the market so that we were like about 50 feet away from everybody else, us and our normal like neighbor. We're like 50 feet away from everybody else. We sold $150 for the entire market.
Oh,
we were
God.
like, that's why we didn't do it for 5 years. And only last year we started doing it again.
Jeez. Yeah, we had a farmer's market years ago where somebody else's tent wasn't properly weighted down. A huge gust of wind picked up their entire tent, turned it upside down, point down, landed in a baby carriage.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Fortunately, no baby in it.
That's good.
But like, oh my God. Yeah. Yeah. We're actually doing a big event this weekend. We just wrapped it up. It was a 3-day event at the Alchemist. I don't know if you're familiar with that beer company.
Yes.
Oh, you are? Okay.
Yeah. Is it from you? I might be familiar. It sounds really familiar.
Heady Topper is like considered like one of the world.
Flavor Balance Heat is brought to you by High Desert Sauce Co. out of Tucson, Arizona. Zac is the owner and creative mind behind High Desert Sauce Co.'s hot sauces. He says, at High Desert Sauce Co. we make sauces that we love. The balance of bold heat and fresh flavor is the heart of our philosophy. We keep it simple by using the best ingredients we can get our hands on and letting the natural flavors run the show. High Desert Sauce Co. Just the good stuff. Visit High Desert at hdsauceco.com. Speaking of events, I had somebody reach out to me this week and say, because I had mentioned that we were going to be at the Portland show, and they said that they had done a show. I don't know if it was Portland or if it was a different one, and that they didn't do well, and that to be careful. And I was like, it was really nice of them to reach out. It was so nice. But I was just like, the thing is that we're really well represented in Seattle, and we're represented pretty well in Eugene and in other places along that line. But Portland, man, it's just a big empty spot. So us being there is going to help regardless. Even it may be 6 months down the line.
Well, shows are always a gamble, man. There's a bunch of people losing their ass in Texas right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, what's going on at Texas?
Zest Fest on Memorial Day weekend when everyone goes the fuck out of town. Perfect timing.
Yeah, going out of town is coming to us. So Memorial Day weekend's a good weekend for us.
I know a lot of people that go there just for that every year, though. So it may be that they're doing all right. Oh, is it empty? Yeah.
That's a bummer.
I keep the idea of that, we grow where we're planted. If we get stuck in a bad space, we try and figure a way around it, find a way to get people to us, I'll yell. Yeah. I don't care.
We're going to be doing a lot more events because we have our new event person, and this was his first event this past weekend, and he's going to do the New England show in Portsmouth, New Hampshire, and that's always been a good show for us. And I've got to figure out how. I don't know. I've got to figure out how to make shows profitable when we have to pay for hotels as well, and that's the math that I'm working on right now.
Well, Claire, I'll give you the secret. The only way that it's going to be any kind of close to profitable is if you do them yourself.
Well, the other issue is that I can't do it by myself. I need to have another person, and I'm not going to make any of my employees share a hotel room with their boss. So at least I can make the two guys who are going to New England share a hotel room because, and then that actually kind of covers the cost of an employee almost.
Honestly, I found that it's almost cheaper to go Airbnb than it is to do hotel room.
That's what we're going to do in Portland.
Yeah, and and I looked into that the first year we did Portsmouth, and the Airbnbs are really expensive, and there's a buy-in hotel, like a group rate for it that was cheaper because I did actually look into that.
We're actually bringing 5 people. And I'm good with taking the hit. It's all right. I figure we're bringing all 40 sauces. I'm bringing 5 people. We're going to do it up, take the loss for the year and not do any other shows. It'll be just the one we do. Yeah. But I want to make it worth it,
Yeah. Yeah. And that's like, I'm just kind of figuring out that math, and our setup and takedown, it is so long. It's like 2 hours to set up and 2 hours to tear down. And I know I can improve that. And so we're just like honing in on exactly what we need to bring and we have so many different products. We never bring everything to one event. So what we're deciding now is that we're going to have the same setup regardless of what we're bringing. And then we will put things in different places depending on what we're actually bringing to cater to the event itself. So
my big thing with the shows, I'm still trying to figure this out, and I want to figure it out at Farmers Market, is a better way to display our bottles. I want to have a better way to do it. And I keep talking, my buddy does 3D printing, and I want to try and 3D print a little holder and that I can piece together. And we've kind of got a model down for it, and I'm hoping that that'll work and make it easier for us.
We do crates, wooden crates that we stack. So we have a prop underneath the tablecloth that brings everything up about 8 inches. And then we have 3 wooden crates across the front and a 4th wooden crate across the middle. So we can still see over the sides of the second row of wooden crates because we can't really see over the top of the middle of one there. And then we can fill those crates with whatever we need to fill with. And then we can put samples down below. So by lifting it up 8 inches, we can put samples in front of everything without blocking anything.
Oh, that's interesting.
And then we actually, that's our main that's our 6-foot table. And then we have a 4-foot table, 2-foot wide table that comes back towards us. So we've got a work surface. And then we have a shelving, like a Metro wire shelving unit. So I want to improve that. I want to get like something folding that goes on that. And then we can go vertical on that shelf, caramel and granola and cookies and stuff like that.
We had, by going to the Fiery Foods, I saw, thank you, Lucky Dog. Scott, you're awesome. I saw that he had mannequins for his shirts. I didn't get the same style of mannequins that he had, but I got some that hang in the back of our tent. So we've got 6, and 2 of our shirts have a back. So we are able to turn them around, and they did not do well in the wind. That was the first thing that went down. But that we've been using that this year, and our t-shirt sales have gone up, not like crazy, but enough to make it like, oh, this was okay.
That's good. We've like basically never sell shirts. Like we'll bring them to just be like, look, we have shirts.
Yeah.
But that's it. Like
it was such a pain because we couldn't figure out where to put them where people could see them well enough. And this really worked. If you want, I'll send you the link they were like $40 for 6 of them.
Yeah.
I got, or no, 3 of them. I got 3 men's and 3 women.
Yeah. I like that. And I want to up our shirt game. I feel like our shirts are kind of boring. And I really, now that we have a marketing person who can do graphic design, like I want to just up our merch game in general.
That's awesome. I've liked, I sent you a text about your posts this week. I noticed the difference. I like that. When we got our social media person, I immediately noticed the difference in color choices. It's like, it's just a slight difference, but it's something people will notice out of maybe unconsciously. And I noticed it immediately, like, oh, this is great. Even if it's, even often if it's not something I would pick, it's like, this is going to be something different. So.
Yeah. And we're like working on standardizing our social media, like our brand colors that we use for social media and our fonts and our like getting like a standard book together of that. And we were working on that with our old social media person, and then she left. And so then that could never really move forward. So with our new person stepping in, we're kind of like just starting to put that together into like an actual process and a brand identity rather than just this is what this person is trying to do.
Yeah.
So. Yeah.
Zach, your social media, I gave to my the posts you've done on TikTok and stuff. I gave to my social media person as examples of things to do with our staff because I like the way you do that.
Why don't you come up with your own fucking idea and quit ripping me off?
She wanted examples, and so I fished around and I showed you because it was awesome. People really like it. I've noticed. So, use what you can.
It just shows that we do, it just shows that we're the ones I'm the one making it. It's not, mass produced. It's somewhere, like,
Yeah. No, I think that's great.
People like it.
It reminds me, I got to post a picture of my wife with all the wins. She thought it would be funny for us to take a picture of her holding on to the tent, trying to get it to take flight. And so she's got this. It's great. So,
what kind of weights do you use, Spike?
We use the sandbags, but I want to switch to the little weights. They look like barbells.
That's what I've got interlocking weights, and they're fantastic. They're two circles that we put 2 on. So we have 20 pounds on each leg, and I really like them.
Yep. Don't hold up for me anyway.
Yeah.
So I got some bags off Amazon you're supposed to fill with water and then you can dump out. And I'm like, this is fucking dumb filling these up all the time. So I just filled them with fucking sand, and they're like 70 pounds a piece. So I got 280 fucking pounds on my tent. Doesn't ever go anywhere.
Yeah, no kidding.
I had sandbags originally, and the thing I didn't like about them is that they didn't stay to the legs very well.
Yeah.
So while the tents wouldn't
Velcro.
Mine did too, but the Velcro would just come, like, it would get dirty, it would get sand in it. It just kind of stopped. It would hold, but what I found is while the tent wouldn't take off, it would just rattle. It would just rattle and move, and I felt like it was going to take off. Whereas like the piece on the feet, I just feel like the worst that's ever happened is that the whole thing is just like dragged like 5 inches. Like that's about it. And then we're on this past weekend, we were on grass. And so we have stakes too. And so we put the stakes through the feet and then put the weights on. And we had some huge gusts, and the tent next to us got some damage, but we were fine.
Yeah.
Yep. No issues.
Nice. Yeah. I'm trying to figure out the whole, sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say I had those interlocking weights, and I don't know if you've ever been in Arizona during the Santa Ana winds. It gets fucking crazy. So
I'm familiar with them in California.
Yeah.
Have you guys ever seen that? I don't remember the movie, but where they would like, it was like some romantic movie. God, I wish I could remember which one it was. My wife hates it. And I do too. But one of the things it would say was they'd go, when the Santa Anas blow, anything can happen.
That was like a theme in like Beverly Hills 90210 too.
It's like
I grew up with the romance of the Santa Anas. Yeah.
Yeah. Like trucks turning over on the freeway, we would go to Ontario to go to work because I worked at Auto Trader for a year. And on the way there, if the Santa Anas were blowing, any truck that didn't have a full load would be flipped over. Ow. Yeah. Anything can happen.
Yeah.
Jeez.
They're fucking crazy. Fuck all that, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fuck all that.
We're trying to figure out our whole setup. Where our setup is, we used to do the farmer's market all the time, and that was just me. So it didn't matter how long it took. And then we didn't do anything for years. And so it didn't matter how long it took because we'd only do it twice a year or once a year. And now if we're going to be doing it all the time and paying people to do it, we just want it to be quick and easy and like lights. That was something that I realized that, this past weekend, we weren't there past dark, but we were almost there past dark. And we used to do 4th of July, and we need to have lights inside of our tent for nighttime.
We never had to do an evening event. That's a good idea. I might grab some lights.
Yeah, and it's not like the placement of the lights matters, because if you put all the lights in the back, then nobody can see anything. But if you put them all in the front, then you can't see anything. So there's more string lights is what I've been seeing people use more recently. And I think that makes a lot of sense.
I was looking into portable, and I don't think there's a plug anywhere, so I don't think it'll work. But I was looking into portable misters because everybody's been talking about how hot it is in Portland, and I thought that'd be really good to have. So I looked at, they're like $300. I'm like, I might do it.
So they have them at Home Depot. They're battery operated.
Oh,
and I was going to say for power, what we've been doing is we have our minivan sometimes has its battery die. And so we've got a power block to jump the minivan. And it's a big, the minivan draws a lot of power. So it's a big unit, but we can plug electrical stuff into it. And so we bring that into our booth and plug our POS system into it. And, awesome. And we get full power whenever we want. We can charge our phones. We can charge a computer. We have all the power we want all day.
I like that.
And no noise. It's great.
Our setup has been really good the last 2 years. We figured we actually took a day and took everything out and just rethought it. And so that's why I'm having a hard time trying to figure out how to display the bottles, because of the way we have it set up. We realized we kept getting a bottleneck. We had so many people in line that they would keep walking. And so we need to that's why we have so many people. So having 3 people taking orders at the same time, and we still lose people. So with this year, we've got 3 people. We've got 1 5-footer and then 2 4-footers. And so the 5-footer kind of sticks out more, and I stand in the middle between the 2 4-footers, and then the other people are on the side. And what we're going to try, I think probably starting next week, is I've made up some menus just a piece of paper with all the stuff, all the prices. I couldn't fit everything on there, but I fit a lot of information. And then anybody standing in line, it'll help us find a way to acknowledge them so they'll stay in line. I can hand that to them. They can look at that, hear what I'm saying, and hopefully stay in line. So
nice. Yeah, well, we've been bringing the same POS system that we use in our retail store to events, which is fine when you only do it occasionally. And we can just use a backup. We use our time clock iPad for the store if customers happen to come in after we've stolen the cash register away. But that doesn't work in the long run. So I was going to buy a whole new standalone POS system with the tablet and the barcode scanner and the reader and all of that stuff. And then I use Shopify. So they have got a POS system just a handheld POS system that's a far less money than I was going to spend. So I actually
if you have an iPhone.
No, this is a whole unit, whole standalone complete unit. It's not iPhone or anything. Oh. It's Wi-Fi connected. It's and it can tap cards, swipe cards, or what's the other one? Dip. You can dip cards. And it's got a barcode scanner on it.
So if you don't have Wi-Fi, you're fucked.
Yeah. Well, so then I'm going to get a hotspot.
Yeah, that's what we do for our. We've got 2 of the square, the little square panels that they're like a little. And we put those out, and we got them because we went to the Comic-Con and up in Spokane, and the people that were next to us were like, "Hey, get one of these, because you can turn on tips, and your employees can make tips." And I was like, "All right, I'll do that." And so we did, and sure as shit, they make about $100 in tips. We don't require it; we just put a suggestion. My employees get to make a little extra money, which I'm happy for. And you know what? It makes sense. We are actually putting on a show. I don't feel guilty about it because that's what we're doing. And so if they want to tip us for that, that's great. And so my employees get to make a little extra. I don't take any of it.
Right.
So
cool.
I mean, you can do that from any Square platform. I don't understand.
It's just easier from that because, the other thing is that I can start helping the next person while this person, I've already put it in, they're doing their transaction, and now I'm helping the next person. So we can actually just turn people faster, which really helps.
Well, one of my thoughts with the handheld reader was that is that we can, if we've got customers who are in the front just tasting, that we can actually just take that with us. And we've got somebody who's clearly just ready to buy, and we can just ring them out and maybe even have 2 and just be able to move people faster. Yeah,
we got 2. And actually, we could use a third one because we often are jumbling them around. We're going so fast. Yeah. In Portland, I'm going to get at least 1 more. Anyway, they're like $300, and I might even get 2 more. Who knows? Just for events.
Yeah, that's what I figured. I'd start with the 1 and see how it goes. But I kind of feel like as we're doing more events, we're probably going to want more than 1.
Yeah, I've really liked them. And sometimes there's connection issues. Square isn't good with that.
Interesting.
But
I used to use Square, but it was easier to bring it.
We just hotspot it off of our phone. It's good.
We've been hotspotting off of our phone, but then it was if we couldn't pick up Wi-Fi. But then somebody walks away, and all of a sudden you can't check out anybody, and it's a huge pain in the butt. And so I just was like, I'm just going to pay $10 a month for T-Mobile hotspot, and it'll live in the cash box and be easy.
That's smart. I like that.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. What else? Oh, Galaxy tablet. Yeah. So that's what I used to have one of those for my time clock because I was like, all I need is a time clock. Why am I going to pay for a whole iPad? And then the battery burst and started leaking.
Oh God!
After about a year, and I was like, you know what? I've got an old iPad that I haven't used in years, but it still takes the latest OS. And look at that, it keeps on working. So yeah,
I just use Home Base for our time clock and make them clock in on their phone.
Oh, I don't like, I have had very good employees make really stupid time clock choices. And so I make them everybody clocks in from a central tablet. They can't clock in on their own phones because then they clock in the parking lot and then wait 20 minutes and then come in.
Got it. Yeah. I've never had, I've kind of every so often will check, but my biggest thing is my employees will forget to clock in, and I always tell them they're fired.
Yeah.
If I actually fired anybody, nobody would believe me.
Yeah.
I have a problem with people showing up to the kitchen and then technically on time, and then immediately going to the bathroom. And I'm like, you literally just left your house. Like, what the fuck?
There's nothing better than pooping on the clock.
Honestly, I think they're getting their hair up, and so it's just, So what else? I mean, I think I'm good if you guys are good, because I want to get the fuck out of here. Love you, but I want to get the fuck out of here.
Did we talk about enough to make an episode?
I think we did. I mean, we only
things?
need a half hour to 45 minutes. We've been on for an hour almost. And, we had 15 minutes in there where we were talking about other stuff. So I think we're good.
We doing hot sauce show and tell today or what?
I've got one. Do you have one?
I have one. Yeah, I did bring one.
Let's do it.
I actually haven't even had this one. I just I grabbed it. Actually, no, I did.
Sorry.
I've got hot graham.
Oh yeah, I've had that. That's really good.
Yeah, this is the Sarah band. Lauren is really, really nice guy.
Yeah, he is.
Got a chance to talk. He does listen to the podcast. So hi, Lauren.
Hi, Lauren.
But I got to meet him at the Boston Hot Sauce Show.
That's awesome.
And really nice guy. And it was his birthday too. And there was cake. It was great.
Oh, that's fantastic.
I brought Bear River Bottling, King of Thing.
I like that sauce a lot.
Yeah.
Again, like last week, I am not opening it because I need to finish bottles that are open.
That's totally understandable. I'm bringing Heartbeat. I think you showed this one a couple weeks ago.
I think I did. I think that is the one that I
the camp sauce. It's really good.
It's so good. Yeah. I really, really enjoy that. In fact, actually, I think my husband just finished it today because I saw him. He was eating like eggs, and then I saw him suck on the top of the bottle. So it's like,
I can see
little hot sauce milk.
There you go. Awesome. So just a real quick little state of the podcast. We've been doing really well. Numbers have been really good. We should say a little thank you to all the people who listen. And, I get messages from people all the time. We all get messages from people all the time.
Yes.
It's wonderful. Tim, who messages me often on Thursday morning to tell me how great it is to go to work and listen to us, is really, really nice. It's a great way to wake up on Thursday. So I appreciate that.
I got an order the other day, and he put in the notes that I'm his favorite on the show. So
well, everybody says they're Claire's best friend. I'm Claire's new best friend. That's all I hear.
Yep.
So
so I did ask Tim if he wanted to do a rerun, since we interviewed him pretty early on in this endeavor, and he's 100% down to be on the show again.
Oh, that Tim. Oh, that different Tim. But yeah, that'd be great. I also would like to.
What Tim did you think I was
Tim Toes?
Oh.
Yeah. So he messages me almost like every other Thursday or something, and it's just a really nice message. Like, hey, I really enjoy going to work and listening to you guys. It means a lot. Nice. I like that a lot. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I really appreciate all the messages we get. I get quite a few, and it's nice. And that's the other thing, is that when I went to Fiery Foods, so many people knew me that I didn't know.
Yeah,
which is
that happened in
weird.
Boston.
Yeah, it's like, okay. So thank you all. I mean, really, it's fantastic. It feels great, and we'd like to keep doing this. So
Yeah. Thanks, everybody.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Zach, you should welcome all of those people.
Totally kidding. 100%.
This has been a Spike Mind Media production.